Hello and welcome back to my channel, Health and Wellness with Emma Mentel. This is a message I've been wanting to share for some time, but I have finally written down all the words and the inspiration, and I hope that you will find this supportive and helpful. So in my practice, not only do I work with the physical aspects of supporting my clients to overcome some of their health challenges. You know, it could be digestive related, it could be immune system related, insulin resistance, it could be cardiovascular, it could be a whole host of things, including hormonal priorities. And I always encourage my clients to also consider what they feel and what they think. And if you know me as a practitioner, also how they're nourishing themselves on a spiritual level. And so today's message is about how we stay with some uncomfortable feelings, some uncomfortable conversations, and also in the context of health and healing, how we ask for help. In the same breath, I want to share with you that perhaps if you are a close friend or a relative or a colleague of somebody who's going through a really hard time, how can you perhaps support your friend or your loved one or your family member with different kinds of support? My main inspiration for this came from something that Brené Brown shares, and many of you would have watched her short video clip about not tapping out. And what does that mean, and how do we apply that when we are in a difficult situation with emotions or thoughts, and how does that impact on our health? Also, if you are going to be one of the support system people for someone you love, and how does that apply to the kind of help that you can offer? So Brené says that when you are in uncertainty, when you feel at risk, or when you feel exposed, to not tap out. Not tapping out means that you stay with the discomfort, you stay with the uncomfortable feeling, sensation, conversation even, and you lean into that. It feels almost counterintuitive, especially in this day and age when most of us have found various strategies to run away from our pain, to run away from difficult conversations, or to simply just suppress something like a difficult feeling, emotion, tears that come up when we don't feel that we really have the time or capacity to be dealing with that. What happens when we tap out, in other words, when we look for distraction, when we look for something else that's going to comfort or soothe us, or when we look the other way, some things can become suppressed. Some emotions, some perhaps deep grief or trauma can now just go and sit in the body. It doesn't have a chance to dissolve or to be integrated properly without help. And of course, we know that you are also what you think and feel. So if you are experiencing any kind of health challenge, and you're also dealing with some difficult feelings or emotions, then our sort of immediate reaction to that would be to just ignore, to not listen to that which is trying to be expressed or heard or felt. And not tapping out means that now we've got to sit with the tears, or we've got to have the difficult conversation, even though we might be feeling extremely vulnerable with that, especially when we're already feeling slightly uncomfortable with perhaps a health concern. So this might be better in a situation where you can work with a facilitator or a counselor so that you can feel what you're supposed to feel. All those feelings are valid. By this, I'm not suggesting that you just continue to cry uncontrollably, but sometimes those tears are a necessary tool in the process of feeling something that might get stuck somewhere along the line and might ultimately actually even contribute to you not shifting the way that you would like to. So there's a challenge for you. When do you tap out? And if you are next faced with something where you feel vulnerable or at risk or exposed, what would it look like if you had to stay with that, to sit with the feeling, to maybe journal, write it down, or to share with someone with you, or somebody who's asking how you are, what you are truly feeling, without feeling that by sharing your emotions, your grief, your fear, that you are now exposing yourself perhaps to something that might even be worse. And then for those of you who are part of the support team, the rescue operation, sometimes for somebody who's experiencing deep, even prolonged grief or trauma or sadness, what do people normally do? And this has been such an interesting observation for me in the past year especially, where I have noticed, and without criticizing anybody, without suggesting that anybody or somebody or groups of people didn't do enough, I've just realized how difficult it is for people to come and meet you where you are, to listen to what you have to say, because we are always looking for solutions. It is hard for us to look at a loved one who is crying and who is feeling quite lost and perhaps even getting caught in a kind of a despair where they do not know how to change their circumstances. So people want to come up with fixes. Do this, try that. And if they feel that they don't have, or if we feel that we don't have a solution for that person that might change their immediate circumstances, that might bring them out of that sense of despair, what we tend to do is to almost shut down. And that other person, or that person on the receiving end of the conversation, the person who's really struggling, absolutely notices that disconnect. And then it becomes even harder to reach out to people when you need help. It's even harder to share your most vulnerable thoughts and feelings and those sort of moments where things feel pretty dark. If you are a helper or a friend or a family member or a loved one of somebody who might benefit from some support, how could we do that instead? I made a list for a friend just to give some examples, because I felt that those are the things I felt in the last year would have been really supportive for me, and some friends were able to meet me there, and that felt very comforting, very reassuring, and somehow in that I could figure out the next step. And I'm sure you can all relate to what I'm saying. So if you can't come up with an immediate fix, and you are not expected to change someone's reality or situation right there and then, try to ask that person for what they need. I know it's very easy to send a message or a WhatsApp to say how you're doing, but as we know, when that person on the other side has had to reply many times with "I'm still feeling very afraid, very lost, very sad," you then get too scared to almost ask. So maybe the trick is not to ask somebody how they are doing on WhatsApp. If you know that they are still struggling, and you will probably know that, you can ask them what they need. What would make you feel less afraid? Is there something I can get you? Can I perhaps cook you a meal? Can I visit you? Can I come and sit with you even if you are crying? Can I arrange for an outing where you might be outdoors and just get a sense of relief from the environment that you're finding yourself in? You might be able to think of a whole lot of other ideas as I'm saying this, but I think we all know that for someone who is really struggling with whatever it is, whether it's a health concern or a loss, that they are not always able to identify what it is that they need. And then we've just got to think about the person that we know. What does he or she enjoy? Do they enjoy a plant? Do they enjoy a good coffee? Do they enjoy a foot massage? Would they benefit from going out somewhere where there's nature, going out to nature, going for a walk? Can I meet you for a walk? Would you like to come and walk with me? We don't have to even talk. So there are all these different ways in which we can support someone that we care about without actually having to change their current reality. But people are terrified of having to watch someone experience pain for weeks or months or sometimes even years. And then it's very easy to almost just disconnect and just hope it goes away and hope that in time this person suddenly pops up out on the other end and they're feeling much better. It gets one to really probably evaluate friendships and connections with people and who you feel safe with to share your fears with. For somebody who's just had a really disastrous experience in a hospital, for example, or for someone who's just really got bad news about their health. They are feeling overwhelmed. They just want to run away. So we can't run away. We've got to meet them where they are. We've got to be able to just be there. And that saying again of, I'm not here for you, I'm here with you. In other words, it doesn't matter how you get through this and how long you struggle for and how absolutely terrifying it is for me to witness your struggle. I'm not going to leave. So I'm not going to disconnect. I'm not going to tap out if I'm part of the support team. And that gives the other person, that gives you or me permission to stay with what we are feeling. It encourages us to not suppress or diminish or dismiss sometimes really hard emotions and feelings. And I hope this makes sense. It's not all just about heavy. We are all here in this lifetime to walk beside each other sometimes in really difficult circumstances, be it health-wise, be it sometimes after a financial crisis or a relationship or the loss of a loved one. And we can learn to stay with that which feels uncomfortable for us, because know that it feels uncomfortable for the one who is in pain. So offering help when a loved one is finding something particularly difficult doesn't have to be a solution. It doesn't have to be a quick fix. It can be simply, I'm going to sit with you and I'm going to make you a cup of tea or coffee, and I'm just going to be here. I might bring you some food, I might bring you a plant, and I'm just going to show you that I'm available here for you as part of your support, so that you don't feel the need to tap out of what is really painful and hard for you. I hope that you found this helpful. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Please look at the other clips of videos that are available in my feed, and let me know if this video resonated for you and if you found it helpful and supportive. Thank you for watching.